So the other day I saw Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. I also rewatched Mad Max Fury Road recently, and yeah, Mad Max Fury Road is a masterpiece. That is cinematic, damn near perfection, damn near cinematic perfection, if I may say so. And Furiosa is not a masterpiece, it's not perfection, but it's still really, really good. And, you know, you could kind of expect that because with Mad Max being so good, the world building in that movie is incredible, and then Furiosa just builds on it, of course. So, they were starting from a good place. All they had to do was not fumble it, and I am very pleased to say that they didn't. It's one of the very few new releases that I've seen in the past 4 years that is actually good. 4 years? The past several years, cinema has been on the decline for a long time, but it seems like, the past few to several years, it's just gotten worse and worse. But Furiosa breaks the mold, which is very nice. Chris Hemsworth, I saw a YouTube short where he was explaining the voice that he did for his character because, see, he's Australian, and the Mad Max world is set in Australia. All the movies take place in Australia, all the characters are Australian. But he didn't just do his, normal voice. He actually put on an older accent, and it makes the character very interesting. It's, he's got this, manic energy about him. And, he played the character very well. And there's a scene, I'm not going to get into spoilers, but there's a scene between him and Furiosa that just, it's the best scene in the movie, if you ask me. It is pretty much the climax of the movie, so yeah, it's the best scene. But the dialogue in it is just fascinating. I'm trying to think if I can even do it without a spoiler. I don't think I can. But yeah, it gives you a lot to think about, a new perspective on the character and the world. And oh man, when I rewatched Mad Max Fury Road, the first thing that struck me that didn't before was, this is the bleakest possible world. Maybe not the bleakest possible world, but it is very much like God, what can people even live for in a world like this, And you get that same sense in Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, that it's even worse because, and this is really not a spoiler because it happens at the very beginning of the movie, but it's even worse because hope is taken away, immediately. It starts out in a hopeful setting, and then just like that, we're back in the wasteland. And, everything out here is fucked. So, really good tone setting in these movies, in this world. As for Furiosa's whole backstory, that they go into in this movie, really good, really well done. You do get that. I don't know if I haven't heard anybody else talk about this, but whenever there's a prequel, and they introduce characters that weren't in the original work, you know? It's like, so there's a time, there's a time gap. You understand, like, I'm watching the prequel, and I'm seeing characters that weren't in the original. So there's this time gap where these characters go away, they die, you don't know. Are we going to see them die in this movie? And it kind of feels like this character doesn't really fit, you know? And maybe if you saw Furiosa first and then Fury Road, then it might feel different, I think. Because, I don't know, I've always just felt weird about characters in prequels that weren't in the original. Like, it doesn't quite make sense. I don't see the connection. It's almost like they created this character just to make things different. But I don't know. That's just my personal feeling. It doesn't take away from the story. It's just something that I've noticed about prequels in general. Anyway, so yeah, Furiosa is a really good movie. I'm glad that I saw it in the cinema. The ending is so hardcore. Like, it's so metal, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm talking about the very ending. This isn't a spoiler. The part where, if you've seen the movie, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then this isn't going to spoil anything. The history man is narrating, and he says, this is the truth that Furiosa whispered to me. And then what he reveals is just, it kind of left me speechless in my mind, like, who even thought of that? Who was sitting in the writing room, like, who imagined that shot? Because they had to build that with CGI. You can tell there's a lot of CGI in this movie. Somebody said that it's because George Miller wanted to focus on Max. So, a movie about Furiosa, not about Max, is going to be a little bit less, quality, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't take away, really. But you can tell there's a lot of CGI. But what I'm getting at is, like, they had to build that scene with a lot of CGI, and it is bizarre. It is a bizarre turn of events, and I imagine that the turn of events that led to somebody coming up with that scene was also very, very strange things going on in that person's mind. Not a bad thing, I mean, it was great for the movie. I just was like, wow, that's, what an ending. What a way to wrap up that whole thread. Which is also, like, you wonder, is that still going on in Fury Road? Like, wow. But yeah, so really good movie. Highly recommended. And I hope that we don't have to wait another 9 years for the next installment of the Mad Max series. What I need to do now is go back and watch the Mel Gibson movies. I've still never seen those. And I've heard that they're really good. I guess I just figured that they must be, since Fury Road's so good. Yeah, and this isn't about Furiosa, this is about Mad Max Fury Road. Tom Hardy plays the character just perfectly. And again, this is coming from somebody who has never seen the original, so I don't know what the character was like back in the 80s. But Mad Max in Fury Road, very well played by Tom Hardy. Everything from his voice to his mannerisms to the way he, that reflex that he has, it's just all like, like, oh yeah, this is a crazy motherfucker right here. But he's also badass. Yeah, really good. And the action, oh man, Fury Road. I forgot how much it just, like, it doesn't stop. From beginning to end, it's like just nonstop, but there's story beats going on throughout the action, which is just so cool. But anyway, I'm going to end it right there. Have a blessed day.